the echo. We had some issues yesterday with echoes coming in here. So
Yeah.
I kind of fixed that because I listened to the replay and stuff. I had to change some settings here.
Do we have the timer?
Yeah, we got the timer. It's going right now. It's on.
I see nothing.
Yeah, it happens like that sometimes. I don't know why. The timer is on. I'm sharing it right now.
No, I'm on YouTube right now. I don't see it.
Yeah, well, it's on. It just, like I said, man, the platform. That's why it's better when we do stuff in studio.
I hope to be in studio later on this week. I'll find out tonight.
Yeah.
My daughter's getting an award over at her school.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah, big news for me too, man. My daughter's boyfriend actually talked to me the other day on Saturday, and he was asking me if I have my blessing for him to maybe go ahead and marry my daughter. So I was
wait. This has to be topic of conversation for the show. This has to be it because I have 2 daughters and I want to know how that's going to go later on in life. So no, that's a great conversation piece.
Yeah, so I had a big weekend, man. That between spending all the time with the nieces too, man. These little girls killing me. I went, like I said, spent time with my little niece. She's like 5, and my other niece, Malia, she's like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I spent almost half the day with them. And then after that, I came home real quick, got dressed again, changed because it was hot. And then I spent the evening watching that Final Destination Bloodlines with 5 of my other nieces, so I had the whole clan with me, man. I'm like, damn.
That's expensive.
Yeah, just I'm trying to be the best uncle I could be.
There you go.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What up? What's going on, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We go for about an hour and a half talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Some of the Necios already in the house. Sam Salinas, Sith, Mario Cavazos, Roy. Good morning, everybody. We go on for about an hour and a half here just talking sports and fun times. It's like bar talk, Joe. We just hang out, have a conversation about sports, about what's on our mind, pop culture. It's a fun thing. More than 2,400 subscribers. We're happy to have every single one of y'all there. Joe, how you feeling today, man? Because I understand you were telling me during the pre-show that someone asked you a very important question. And I want to know how it went.
Yeah, so over the weekend, I went and dropped my daughter off at work, and her boyfriend was in town. And he wanted to go out and eat breakfast with me. I'm like, oh, no. Something's about to happen, So I'm like, all right. So he's going to go to the airport around noon. So I had to go drop off my daughter real early at work. And then I was like, you know what, man? We're near downtown because my daughter works near downtown. So let's go to Mi Tierra. It's right here. It's like literally 7 minutes away. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, man. So we go in there and sit down. I'm like, so what's up? When you talk to me about, trying to make things cool and, not because he looked a little nervous, to be honest.
Well, before you keep going with this, how old is your daughter? How old is this guy? How long have they been dating?
Oh, they've been dating for a couple of years already. They've been together for a couple of years, about 3 years, something like that.
Okay, so there's been some time. They've been together for a while. A couple of Christmases. Now, how old's your daughter?
My daughter is 21 years old.
Okay.
And he's about the same age as her too, 21. And we've gone to meet his family. The kids took him over there, and we went to meet his family. And they come over here quite often. They're from Houston. He's from Houston. Kid is nice, cool kid. He's in the Air Force. He's a firefighter. So he's practicing, or not practicing, but wanting to be a paratrooper at some point in time. So that's where he's over stationed in Florida. But on Saturday, he's like, hey, just want to ask your blessing if I can go ahead and marry your daughter. So I was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, man, I went ahead and gave him my blessing, and I just gave him some advice and told him one thing is it's okay, to want to go ahead and be anxious to get married. But the thing is, don't try to go ahead and be speeding things up, like take your time. It's okay to be engaged for an extended period of time, whether it be a year or 2 years. take your time. If you want to plan out a wedding, take your time to plan it out. There's a lot of moving parts involved. There's a lot of stress going on. So it's like, just take your time and everything. All you all have right now is time. So just kind of chill out, take your time, really plan things, be methodical about it. You all have the rest of your lives to spend together. So try to just slow things down a bit. And I told him the other thing is I ain't in no rush to be no grandpa.
Well, we're already getting comments here. Sam Selena saying, much respect to old boy. Did it like a man.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to you man to man. There's hope for the world, he says. Hooper Flash gives an applause emoji. Mario coming out and saying, no, your daughter's too young. Did you tell him not to do it? 21 and 21. Dude, it's a different times. He's in the military, Joe. One of the things about those in the military, and if Fernandez is in the mix, if he's listening right now, he's got to answer this. The military, for some reason or another, they like to get married early.
Yeah.
They're kind of conservative by nature. Firefighters are very, very good people. Air Force people are very good people. So I find that to be interesting. Do you think it's too young for your daughter to say I do? Is that what you're saying? Make it an engagement 2 or 3 years long?
Well, yeah, just take your time with things. I know because I got married at a young age too. I was around 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
And we were already having kids by 21. So it's like I understand. When you kind of say, "Oh, you meet the one. This is who you want to be with." I get all that. That's why I was just telling them, just kind of take your time in the whole process. You don't have to just be in a rush to go ahead and just put a ring on it, so to speak. Go ahead and enjoy each other's time, because my daughter wants to go ahead and move in with him at the end of the year when she's graduating from UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm commending her for that, staying in school, finishing school, graduating, and then going out there with him. And I just told him, just take your time. You got to get used to even being with each other, because you're dating, you come over here and she'll go over there to Houston or whatnot. But to be with somebody 24/7, 365 days a year, oh man, that's a process. And that's what I was trying to tell him. The honeymoon phase is going to kind of be over a little bit. Y'all are going to find things that you don't like about one another. But the important thing is just to learn to communicate, learn to adjust to one another. And that's why I'm telling them, take your time a little bit, learn a little bit more about each other, get to know each other a little bit more.
He's military. He ain't gonna take his time, dude. He's got places to be. He's gonna be doing a PCS, a change of station from one place to the next. He's gonna go from one look. He's not gonna always be in the Texas area, right? So that's the thing about the military. So they're not gonna wait. And if anything, they'll move out together when that time comes. So I hate to say it that way, Joe, but that's just the way that it is.
Yeah, it's up to them. I mean, the only thing I can do is just support the decision that they make. I can just go ahead and voice my concern about the whole thing, and I did it in a very nice way, So I've talked to my daughter, I've talked to her boyfriend, and they're like, "Well, you said yes too fast." No, I've known the kid for a little bit already, over 3.5 years. He's a good kid, man. At the end of the day, as fathers, all you want is for your daughters to be happy.
Right.
That's it, and be treated right.
Now, Rafa says he enjoys the fact that he did not do it Edgar style. He didn't knock her up first and then ask for the hand in marriage. So that's kind of funny, man. But no, congratulations to you. Congratulations to your daughter. Has he asked yet?
That he has not yet. So
okay.
I know that's going to be coming. That's something that he's planning, and I'm sure that he'll go ahead and pop that question when the time is right, because he's going to be coming back again. I think in another month or so, and they're going to be going to Houston. So I'm thinking that's when he's going to pop the question when he goes to Houston with her.
Tony wants to know the question that we're all dying to know. Is he a Rockets fan or a Spurs fan? Is he a Texans fan or a Cowboys fan?
He does not like the Rockets. He likes the San Antonio Spurs.
There you go.
As far as baseball goes, the only thing that he is a fan of is the Houston Astros.
There you go. Well, I mean, he's got to pick at least one hometown team.
Well,
right?
My daughter has told him as much. She goes, in this family, we're Spurs fans. So
there you go. I told that to Chica and her kids also, because her kids grew up dual Spurs and Rockets fans. If it's possible, they have Spurs gear and Rockets gear. that they've had over the years. I see photos of them at the Frostbank Center. I see photos of them at the Toyota Center. And so Chica's kids grew up cheering for both. And I told them, I said, if I'm in the house and I'm with your mom, in this house, we serve the Lord and we cheer for the Spurs. That is what we do, right? So I find that to be funny. Joe, a lot has been made over the past couple of years about the foot race between me and Chris Leha of MCS General Contracting. By the way, they have that Diamond Hard Concrete MCS powering the chat right now that we're all on. I don't think that run's ever going to happen, Joe. My goodness. So I don't know if I told you this. I may have mentioned this the other day. I jacked up my knee. I jacked it up. My days of being, sneaky athletic, might be over because my knee went to crap. And it turns out it appears as though I have a meniscus tear. So I'm out for a little while. But I've been stretching every day. And yesterday was the first time I was able to go for like a long walk. I did a little over 2 miles yesterday with Chica and the dogs. Did more than 2 miles yesterday. My knee feels fine, but it's UT at the commencement, the graduation.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time going up and down the stairs. I was literally hugging the railing. So I'm looking up, like, how do you fix this, right? They say if it's a bad tear, you go off and you go get surgery. But if
the
it's a
towel
minor,
didn't work.
What's that?
The towel didn't work.
The towel did work, but it needs to be like stretched out. So it's funny. Every other day, I have Chica stretching my leg and my knee out, like she's some sort of chiropractor over here at the house. She's already my dentist at the house, which is kind of weird because she cleans teeth for a living, and sometimes she just runs out and goes, "I got to get this piece of tartar off of you." She did that last night. I thought that was kind of funny. But no, man, it got me worried because, I've run 4 half marathons. I enjoy running. I enjoy doing basketball games, refereeing high school basketball. And I question whether or not those days are over. But my knee feels fine today. Did 2 miles of walking. I'm sure it'll heal over time. But any ideas of me racing Leha ain't going to happen this summer, man.
That was never going to happen, man. Let's be honest. I'm telling you, bro, you're too old to be racing out there. You're going to tear something, man.
Well, I mean, I always said this. He could probably beat me in a sprint because he's 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me.
Bro, he's going
to long distance, though, I have a chance.
No, man.
I have a chance. I've run 4 half marathons, baby. I've run 4 half marathons.
Leha's working on his feet all damn day, dude. Just lifting concrete out there, hard labor. That brother's probably chiseled underneath. Man, he's gonna tear through you, bro.
Is he like the Irishman in The Simpsons?
I'm telling you, man.
The one with the red hair, but then he turns off the shirt. He's all jacked.
I'm telling you, bro. All he does is he's outside all day working.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that? There's TikToks going on right now. I've seen them on Instagram Reels where it says work strength versus workout strength. And it has like these guys with jacked up muscles, like just ripped because they go to Planet Fitness or Golds, and they try to arm wrestle somebody who just works like labor.
Yeah.
And the ones who work labor can kick their ass at arm wrestling because there's something different about those muscles compared to the muscles that are generated by just doing curls. It's kind of funny, dude. Kind of funny.
I'm telling you, man. In a foot race, man, I swear to it, man. Leha will leave you in the dust, bro.
Jonathan C. says there's a difference between stamina and strength. 2 different things, he says. Give me Mike money line.
I think, Mike, you'd fall apart, brother. I'm being honest, man. We're of a certain age already, man. You got to get the truck warmed up now. You can't just go ahead and put it in fifth gear or something.
The last half marathon I did was brutal, man. The last refereeing season I did was brutal. But it's funny because they say if you have a meniscus tear, the 2 things you got to do is rest your knee, but get exercise. So like, well, then how the hell do you get exercise without your knee, right? But my knee feels fine right now. I'm going up and down stairs perfectly fine. I have no issues with it. But I kind of feel like every 3 days, Chica needs to like bend my knee backward to the side and to the left and to the right and kind of just get that going. It like regenerates it. Yeah. I'm taking those creams. I'm of the age now where I have to take a cream before going to bed and going and waking up. By the way, I was telling Chica a story.
Oh no,
this was one that you'll actually believe. When I was in high school, I played tennis, right? And there was one game. We were at Northside Athletic Center, Paul Taylor Fieldhouse, basically. and they hit the ball over my head, and I ran back to go get it, and I swung back behind my head, and I got a winner. Odds of that happening very low, but I got the winner. But my momentum was so fast that I crashed into the light pole that was there. I looked back to see if I got the point, and my momentum took me into the pole. And I was telling her the story because of my knee, and she sees me using this cream, and she's like, "Are you using Bengay? Are you using Icy Hot? What are you using?" Right? Well, it reminded me of that because when I crashed in the pole, like the trainer and all that ran towards me to check my shoulder, which was fine. When I rammed myself into the pole, it actually jacked up my groin. I pulled my groin, and they made me take this Icy Hot type of crap, and they put it on, and they didn't put it on. I put it on myself because they told me to. Dude, I had never had a crotch burn like that in my entire life. I don't know if you've ever had Icy Hot in that area.
Jeez.
I do not recommend. I do not recommend.
Stop the cap.
Stop.
You're capping hard, bro.
We got the new sounds. Well, I'm telling you that I hurt myself and that I had to get and I told her that's the reason why I get stopped at the TSA line every single time to get a pat down.
Oh my God.
Chica says that next time that happens, I should groan. Like I should do a
My detector test determined that was a lie.
But
Lie.
Chica has told you I get stopped by TSA every time. The red box at my crotch, it's probably because of the Icy Hot when I was 16 years old. Tony Nella says Mike's stories sound like a Ben Stiller movie. Somebody years ago on our podcast, like months ago, said that I was the Forrest Gump of San Antonio. Kind of believe that. We have a $2 super chat coming in.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Coming all the way from the Pacific Northwest, Jason Garcia from Portland, Oregon says, "How is that shirt darker and more ethnic than Mike?"
Is it a Lululemon?
Hurts a little bit. No, it's a Gold Club. What do they call that? It's a Macy's brand. I forgot what it's called. Roundtree in York.
So what
This is
color
what it
of polo are you wearing? Is it salmon or terracotta peach?
Terracotta.
Thanks, Mario.
Very nice. Terracotta. Appreciate it. Let's talk some sports, baby. San Antonio Spurs, it's an interesting time because around this time next month, we'll be having the NBA draft. The Spurs have signaled the fact that they're going to pick Dylan Harper, number 2 overall. Cooper Flag will go number 1 to the Dallas Mavericks. Dylan Harper, the second best player in the draft, going to the Spurs, right? So the Spurs would be drafting for potential and for talent as opposed to drafting for need. Because if they were drafting for need, they'd go after Knipple or they'd go after Ace Bailey. That being said, the rumors are still swirling about Giannis, right? Over the weekend, Giannis was posting tweets about Mexican food, about Mexican wrestlers. It seemed to indicate that he had an affinity for Texas. Certain things that he has said, according to his people, is that he wants to play in a state that does not have a state income tax. Well, that is Texas. So you have the Spurs, you have the Rockets. But he also says that he wants to play in a big market, which ain't San Antonio.
Yeah.
He also says that he has business opportunities in New York. So you have the Knicks and you have Brooklyn. So which team is going to get Giannis? Because Giannis appears to not want to stay in Milwaukee. And after Dame got hurt, and Dame's going to be out all of next season, there's going to be no chance of them winning out there. They do not have their own picks for the next 5 years. So the writing's on the wall.
No.
The Bucks got to get something for him or lose him for nothing.
How cold is it in Milwaukee anyway, dude? In the wintertime, it's probably
cold.
miserable, man.
Freaking cold. So here's the thing. Brian Windhorst seems to know a lot from ESPN. Would you say, Joe, that Brian Windhorst is one of the most reputable people that you have out there?
Does he do his fingers?
When he goes, well, putting 2 and 2 together, he does that very, very, very well.
I commend ESPN right now for the clip that they're showing of Brian Windhorst. They finally were able to fit this brother in his box. It's hard to be able to fit him in the box, bro, because he's a big dude.
Maybe he's losing weight. But here's the thing, though. He follows Wemby around. He follows LeBron around. Those are his 2 beats, right? LeBron, Wemby. That's all he eats and breathes. That and donuts. Eats and breathes, Wemby talk, LeBron talk. So he was on the Dan Patrick show yesterday. And this is a long clip, But I wanted to play this whole clip, Joe, because it gives a good analysis as to how all of this is working and how the idea of Giannis coming to San Antonio is not far-fetched. In fact, we might actually be the favorites in all this. Let's hear from Brian Windhorst, courtesy of the Dan Patrick Show on FS1.
Give me the team, though, you think has the assets to be able to pull this off. We always look at trades from one perspective. It's like, man, they could get him if they give up these guys. We never look at the other side. So Milwaukee's got to be intrigued by this. Who could get their attention?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that Milwaukee has been working on this. Again, not that if their general manager, John Horst, was here, he would attest to this, but the whole league has been thinking about Giannis for a year. My guess is for some period of time, the Bucks, maybe not on their main whiteboard in the front of their office, but there's a secret computer file somewhere where they have a list of interesting trades they'd like to make. The team that stands out with a bright, fresh, flashing light is San Antonio, because San Antonio has a couple of things that are very possible a Giannis trade. First off, Dan, in the modern NBA, in the apron era, and I understand fans' frustration. I have several friends who are big NBA fans who like snap at me and go, "Nobody understands this apron stuff. Nobody cares about it. Stop talking about it." Unfortunately, that's just the truth. In the modern NBA game, it's very hard, not impossible, but it's very hard to have three gigantic salaries, 50 million plus salaries. And if you do, all three of those guys better be awesome, because you can't fill out the rest of your roster. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult. And to invest in that, to go that route right now is very hard. So San Antonio has something that is extremely attractive, is that they have a star player in Victor Wembanyama, who is on his rookie contract for several more years. And then even if he does get the max contract, his max will be sort of lower down. It's just like what happened with the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy, right? They were able to build out their team because one of their best players was making one of the cheapest contracts. So they have that. They have a star player on the minimum or on a rookie sale contract. They have young pieces in-house that would interest anybody, including Stephon Castle, who just won Rookie of the Year. And they are loaded with future draft assets, including 2 lottery picks in this draft and the number 2 pick. And they have large salaries on their roster that can make a trade, you could equal it. And so if you're Milwaukee, one of the most important things I have to say before anybody goes to the trade machine, if you think Milwaukee is tanking, you've got it wrong. Milwaukee cannot tank. They do not control their first round pick for the next 5 years. So if they make a Giannis trade, even if it is beautiful for 4 years from now and it results in them winning 17 games next year, they're going to have a party in New Orleans because that's who controls their pick. They have to have a real team on the other side of it, unless they go to New Orleans and make the deal for Giannis and get their picks back. They have to have a real team on the other side of it. So San Antonio can give them real players. They can give them young players, and they can give them draft picks. That's the golden triangle. What we don't know is whether Giannis wants to play in San Antonio. And what we also don't know is if that's going to be a priority. If Giannis says to the Bucks, okay, I'd like to be traded, whether or not they're going to work together. I would suspect that they would, but I don't know for sure. So you have a team like San Antonio. You also could put Houston in that boat. Houston has some of the same advantages, but San Antonio is farther ahead.
Right.
Okay, so a lot to unpack when it comes to that. That is Brian Windhorst on the Dan Patrick Show on Fox Sports Radio. It's also on Peacock and NBC Sports. Lots to unpack. Okay, first of all, when he said that Milwaukee can't tank, that Milwaukee has no incentive to have a 17-win season because New Orleans controls their picks for several years, that they need to have a real team with real players to get going, and the name that he said was Castle. He also said the number 2 pick. So I think a lot of Spurs fans are thinking to themselves, well, if we're going to be getting Giannis, we'll just send them Castle, keep Harper, or we'll send them Harper, the number 2 overall pick, and keep Castle. And Windhorst is saying, no, dude, you guys are in a bidding war with Brooklyn, who have assets and players, the Knicks, who have a lot of players who are right now are still in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Game 1 coming up. You have the Rockets, who have a lot of young players. We're not going to get 10 cents on the dollar. It's not going to be one of those things where we get him the way that we got De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, we sent 10 cents on the dollar. We got rid of, not only did we get De'Aaron Fox, we got rid of Zach Collins' contract. Not only did we get De'Aaron Fox, we got something for Trey Jones. That's not going to happen. That it's a bidding war for Giannis' services, because Giannis is still in his prime, and Giannis is still a top 5 player in the NBA. Giannis is a champion who's also an MVP. So, Windhorst saying the perfect triangle. The triangle is what? We got the picks, we got the players, we got the cap space. So, it is his belief, Joe, that if this is all going to go down, we're going to send out not Castle, not Harper, but both Castle and Harper. We're going to send players. Devin Vassell makes sense because of the salary. We're going to match salaries. And then probably the other player they're going to want is Harrison Barnes. So this idea that we're going to send them Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley, that we're going to send them Jeremy Sohan, that we're going to send them these players that we don't even want, Julian Champagny or whoever the case may be, is not factual. A legit trade offer would be Harrison Barnes, would be Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and a couple of extra picks to get Giannis for 2 seasons. Joe, you are the GM of the Spurs. You are Brian Wright for the day. You pulling the trigger on that?
Absolutely not. And the reason why is I get the fascination with Giannis Antetokounmpo. But the problem is we don't really know how he's going to fit in the context of bringing him over, trading away your future for a win now mentality. I do like Giannis. I think he's a great player in his own right. But when you're looking at pairing him alongside, let's say, Wemby, and if you're going to keep Castle or you're going to trade Castle, that would be a commendable, starting 5 with Harrison Barnes in the mix as well. But we don't know how the moving pieces are going to work with Giannis, or how the rest of the supporting cast is going to work with Giannis on this team. I think at this point in time, the Spurs are in control of their own destiny. And with all the picks that they have in the foreseeable future, the one thing that they need to do is they don't need to necessarily go after a superstar like Giannis. What they need to do is go get some veteran players that can go ahead and play their roles here on this team and play them well. That's what this Spurs squad is really missing. They're missing bucket getters, people, again, that can make buckets, knock down some open, threes, and knock down some consistent jump shots, can play decent defense. Doesn't mean that they have to play lockdown defense, but they do need some veteran presence on this team. And I think if the Spurs stand pat and just work with what they have now, you're looking in the draft, you have picks number 4, and was it 14? And you have, was it in the second round, was it 34 or 28, something like that they got as well? Just stand pat and see what you can do in the offseason. Move smart. I think if they go after Giannis, that's signaling something that Spurs fans might not be comfortable with, and that's the win now mentality. Let's win now and trade away our future. And that's the biggest mistake I think they can make at this juncture.
So let's say that the trade involves what we said there: Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Castle, Harper, a couple of picks, and maybe some salary cap filler. That would leave a starting lineup of starting point guard would be De'Aaron Fox. The 2 would be somebody we pick up off of free agency.
Yeah.
The 3 would be Sohan, Giannis, and Wemby. So it'd be Giannis, Wemby, Fox, Sohan, free agent. That's going to win 50 games, Joe. It's going to win 50 games. It'll be a fun season. And if Giannis comes to the Spurs, I would be ecstatic. Okay? I'm happy either way. I'm team whatever we could do. Let's just go ahead and do it. Right? But when Windhorst goes off and says that it's difficult to carry 3 big salaries together, $3 $50 million salaries, because he says you can get 3 studs and then 12 crappy players and draft picks is what you're filling out the roster with. But when he goes out there and says it's like Brock Purdy's rookie season, rookie contract, right? Or Joe Burrow, or when they had that for Patrick Mahomes, you have to take advantage of that. So one of the things about it, Joe, is that you look at it, if they draft Dylan Harper and they just build on top of it, you're basically saying that they did not go all in during Wemby's first contract. And for those who are like Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting, who are Team F them picks, they are not wrong in that, Joe. They are not wrong in saying that we need to do something and go all in while Wemby's on a rookie deal. The problem is that we didn't realize that we were going to get the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah.
That we had a 10% chance of going from 8 to 2 or 1. It was like a 5% chance of getting number 1 and a 5% chance of getting number 2. We did not know that was going to happen. And that changes things. Leha coming out saying, y'all want to keep pounding the rock with the dudes that said, we hooping, get the F out of here, trade Devin, Sohan, and Barnes, give them 2 and 14, and give them the Hawks picks. He wants the Spurs to empty the war chest for just 2 seasons of Giannis, because Giannis for 2 seasons ain't going to stay.
No,
he ain't going to stay.
Gone. He's gone.
It's not a 1-year rental, it's a 2-year rental. And I guess the question is, for Spurs fans is, do you want to go all in on a 2-year window to get a championship? Or do you want to try to build something to make it where your window's open for 8 to 10 years, but there's no guarantee that those pieces of the puzzle fit together? There's no guarantee that free agents want to come to San Antonio. We hear that all the time from Spurs fans. We got Wemby, therefore free agents want to come to San Antonio. Really? How many went to you? How many went to Milwaukee to work with Giannis?
Yeah.
They got Dame as a trade. There wasn't a long line of people to line up to play with Giannis. There wasn't a long line of people to play with the Denver Nuggets with Jokic.
Yeah.
That was all done by trades. So the idea that there's going to be this long list of Austin Reeves types of players or Tyler Herro type of players who are going to come in and they're going to be knocked down 3-pointers and they're going to do all that because they just want to play with Wemby. Who the hell says that? Maybe they'll want to play with Wemby if Wemby was in Miami, if Wemby was in New York, but he's in the Alamo City. And whether you like it or not, to young basketball players, that is basically Cleveland.
Look at what's going on right
Sacramento.
now. Look what's happening with the Pacers. The Pacers aren't star-studded. They don't have a lot of superstars on that team. But the one thing that they do well is they play together as a team, and they do that really good.
Right.
You know, they're well coached. They have an identity. They're a scrappy team. They get physical. They can go ahead and pound the rock. They can go ahead and get rebounds. They're a very good, well-rounded team, and look at how far they've gone. The only thing I'm saying is look at what the Spurs can become. I see the pieces that we have right now, and we all know it's 2 packs of ass, like Leha likes to say. This ain't it. The team doesn't have the talent, nor do they have the competitive nature to take them to that next level. They're lacking that tenacity. And you know, you're going to have a whole season with Mitch Johnson at the helm. But it doesn't change the fact that you need to do something when it comes to talent on this team in order to compete at the second level there, meaning going in and winning a play-in game, going into the playoffs, because the consensus with Spurs fan now that they have the number 2 pick and the number 14, it's playoffs or bust. That's my mantra now. And that's what me and Pledger have said in the past. The consensus is if the team doesn't make the playoffs, it's a failed season.
It is a failed season. Joe, I'm glad that you brought that up because that needs to be the mentality. I don't ever want to hear play-in ever again. Yeah. Like, we're done. It's been 6 seasons of losing seasons. We have turned the page. We have a new chapter in the Mitch Johnson era. Pop is no longer the coach of this team. Right? We have turned the page. So we need to understand that as Spurs fans, we need to hold these players, these coaches, these people accountable, either with our dollars, with our voices, our booing, whatever the case it may be. But the fact of the matter is that judging this team, we don't know what this team is, Joe, because we didn't have De'Aaron Fox at all last season. We had him for what, 17 games? It was an 82-game season. We had him for 17. So 65 of those games, we didn't have him. And the 17 he was there, he had a hurt hand. So we don't know what that's like to have him out there. And then Wemby got hurt, and De'Aaron Fox only got to play with Wemby a handful of times. So we don't know what we have when it comes to that. To think that the Spurs were simply a 34-win team, we were a 34-win team in totality of what happened the last week of October to the last week of April. But when it came to like the team developing and forming, the team is more talented than a 34-win team. If we had De'Aaron Fox at the beginning of the season, we probably would have been a 41-win team. Okay, De'Aaron Fox as a starting point guard compared to a 39-year-old Chris Paul is a big leap forward, right? Castle at the end of the season was a lot better of an NBA player than he was at the beginning of the season because that's how rookie years work. Wemby was getting better defensively. So I don't see this team as a 34-win team. I see this team going in as constituted right now without Dylan Harper. I see this team as a 41-41 team. But how do we get to 48 wins? How do we get to 50 wins so that we bypass the play-in tournament, which gets we did get like 47, 48 wins? It starts with Dylan Harper. It starts with building, or it starts with getting a big player. I would be happy if the Spurs went and got Giannis because that would be freaking fun. But I would also understand the fact that we'd be punting on Wemby's rookie campaign, contract rather, if we didn't go all in. That's
if you get Giannis, the consensus with Giannis is championship. That's the expectation. If the Spurs don't win a chip with Giannis, it's a failed experiment.
You know, you would have to assume that they would have to go second round or better.
You'd have to go to the Western Conference Finals, and you'd have to win a chip. If you don't,
I wouldn't argue against that. I wouldn't argue.
It's failed. It's a failed experiment.
The West is stacked. You have Oklahoma City, who's very, very talented. Denver, who's very, very, very respected, and they've gone through the battles. And there's something about Denver right now. I know Denver didn't advance, but Denver has the ability to have the rapport where they've played with each other for a while. The same thing with Oklahoma City. They've played with each other for a while. Putting pieces of the puzzle together like Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, and Giannis is not going to work very well early on.
No.
Because they're going to have to figure out who shoots the ball when and where, who's Mr. Clutch, who's going to get the ball down the stretch, who's playing down low. Who's the alpha on the team? Is it Giannis?
How many touches would Giannis need in order to go ahead and get his points any given night? And how many of those touches is he going to be taken away from Wemby? You got to think of it in the consensus of this. Giannis on this team would make this team better. But at the development of Wemby starting to, you want him to become a certain type of player. You want him to come into his own. You want him to learn. Isn't that detrimental to his future?
It could be
Giannis.
It could be because Giannis would be the alpha of the team.
Exactly. So Wemby's going to be able to hide behind that for another 2 seasons.
Wemby will turn into Robin. Giannis would be Batman.
Yeah. And you can't let him be complacent. That's my thing. Is Wemby has to develop into that dog. He can't just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to sit out here by the 3-point line. I'm just going to camp out." Get in the paint. Do something. Move.
I like the comment from Mario right there. If we get Giannis and no shooters, it will be a failure. But again, we keep hearing that this is going to be this long-ass line of free agents who want to play for the Spurs. It doesn't happen that way anymore, Joe. People don't play out their contracts anymore. The good players re-up because they want to guarantee their money. Right?
Look at Leha. I got to push back on him a little bit because I'm going to keep it real, bro. We keep it real here in the chat. He says, patient. We gave this effing team enough. Y'all are in serious as hell. Patience. The other thing is you can't be impatient. If you're willing to go ahead and trade away all those picks and all your future for what, maybe win now mentality for what, 2 years? How is that going to go ahead and solidify what this team is going to be moving forward? If you're going to want them to go ahead and be a championship caliber team, that can't just happen for 2 years. You have to go ahead and think about longevity. So being patient and being methodical is the process that I think the Spurs front office is going to go ahead and take. I don't think they're really going to make a move for Giannis. They'll listen, but it's going to the asking price is going to be very high.
It might be too high. And I don't think you have to kick the tires on it, Joe.
Yeah, you have to listen.
Okay, because if the asking price, if you can somehow get this for Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Sohan, and a couple of future picks, or the Atlanta picks, you do it.
Yeah.
But it's the whole idea of giving up those players along with Dylan Harper, along with Stephon Castle, So who are we left with? We're left with Wemby, Giannis, De'Aaron Fox, and nobody behind it. No bench.
But here's the thing too, Mike, is that it's a crapshoot, man, because we don't know how Dylan Harper is going to pan out. We don't know how that number 14 pick is going to pan out. At the end of the day, getting into the NBA draft is always a crapshoot. It's going to be a gamble. You don't know if said player is really going to pan out at that NBA level. Just because you get a high pick, it don't mean nothing. We've seen picks go, in late in the second round, late in the third round, and they've gone on to have better NBA careers than some of the picks that went 1 through 5. We don't know what's really going to happen. The consensus is that Dylan Harper will be able to pan out, but we don't know that for certain,
Yeah, but he's so highly rated, and it's a consensus number 2 pick of the draft.
Yeah,
everyone has him as number 2, and people will come out. Well, what about Markelle Fultz? There are crappy drafts and there are good drafts. Man, last year was a bad draft. This is a good draft, right? Castle would not have won Rookie of the Year in this year's class.
No.
He wouldn't have won Rookie of the Year in Wemby's class. He won it in his class, which was a weak class. He had a good season. He would have made all NBA or rookie team 1 or 2 in any season, but he wouldn't have won Rookie of the Year 23 of the last 25 years. It wouldn't have happened
if they did.
And the year that Markelle Fultz was there, I mean, there were some good players in there.
Yeah,
but the fact of the matter is that it's between the ears, man. Some of these players that flame out, whether it be Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, or whatever the case may be, it had nothing to do with their talent. It was that they psychologically weren't there, and the teams that evaluated them did not take that seriously. Look at what the Spurs happened to the Spurs with Josh Primo. You cannot tell me that Josh Primo just suddenly became a cochino when he joined the Spurs. He was a cochino before.
They knew that. They
had to have known.
They just gambled on him and they lost, and they're saying, well, Dylan Harper's not a gamble. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, how do you know that? You're just hoping. You're hoping, hey, this kid, he's a high pick. He's got all the tools. He's going to go ahead and, hopefully pan out here at the NBA level. We don't really know for sure. It's just like, you know what? It looks like he is a complete package. He has the tools and everything he needs to compete. Great. Let's go ahead. The Spurs are going to say, we're going to go ahead and get him at number 2, put him on the team. Let's see what the kid can do. You would hope that he's ready at that NBA level. And that's what I'm hoping too. Look what happened with Wemby. The same thing happened with Castle. Yeah, that's great. But at the end of the day, you also have the missteps, Odin, that went before Kevin Durant. You Darko Milicic. Remember that
right.
one?
but you can make that argument about all the picks. There have been busts at 1, 2, 3, 4,
Big
5,
country.
and 6.
Remember Big Country?
Yeah, it's been a while, but John Morant was number 2.
Yeah,
So I mean, John Morant is an all-star. It happens. The problem that you have here is, like, you look at the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets got bounced in the playoffs. They had a valiant 7-game run, but they got bounced. Why did they lose? It's because when Jokic wasn't in the game, they couldn't score. That was just it. And for the Spurs to get De'Aaron Fox and Wemby and Giannis, that would be a lot of fun. But to have no supporting cast behind it,
yeah, none.
I mean, we look at the Phoenix Suns with Booker, Beal, and Durant.
Yeah,
they couldn't do anything together. The big threes don't work. Do you know what works, Joe? Big twos. Yeah. Big twos with a lot of good supporting players. That typically works. Look at the Celtics right now. I know that Tatum's going to be out for a long while, but Tatum and Brown were the big 2. They were both co-alphas, and then they had Porzingis and Horford and Derek White and Drew Holiday to build around them, right? Speaking of Jaylen Brown, I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast on The Ringer. Bill Simmons says that the Celtics should break up their team, and he's a huge Celtics fan. He believes they should break up their team and send Jaylen Brown to the Rockets in exchange for a couple of players over there. Jaylen Brown, who makes $60 million a year, going to Houston. Houston would have to empty out basically half of their team to get a player like that. But he was saying that something needs to be done. That at some point you have to keep evolving a team and building on a team. And he thinks that that these teams like the Celtics are now on their way down. We talked about that, Joe. The Lakers, I don't care if Luka's there. They're on their way down. Golden State on their way down. Phoenix on their way down. On the Eastern Conference, the Celtics are on their way down. You now have teams ascending, right? The ascending teams of the West are going to be Oklahoma City, Houston, and the Spurs. We are ascending. Everyone else is coming back down.
Don't forget about Minnesota. Minnesota's ascending too with Ant-Man.
Minnesota is as well. I mean, they built their team on defense. They built their team on defense. But if the Spurs get Dylan Harper, I'm just looking at it going, okay, we have a Dylan Harper, we have a Stephon Castle, we have a De'Aaron Fox, we have a Harrison Barnes, and we have a Wemby out there. I'm getting a little bit excited, Joe.
You're throbbing?
That's a cohesive team. And then you have a Vassell, and you have a Keldon Johnson, Champagny. Get a couple of free agents in the back playing in the second team. It's not bad, Joe. It's not bad. Is it a 50-win team or a 55-win team? No, it's a 48-win team is what it is. But that's a lot more wins than we've been getting before, Joe.
I think we don't know what this is the best analogy that I can give you, or honest opinion, should I say. There's a big question mark when it comes to this Spurs team. And the question mark here is identity. You have to have an identity in order to go ahead and move far into, let's say, the postseason. Right now, this Spurs team is in flux because they don't have an identity. It's just a bunch of dudes out there just trying to shoot the ball. Let's go ahead and see if I can win, push the team to victory on this game or any given night. They don't really play good, cohesive basketball together. And it's because the parts that they have don't fit well together. The talent level isn't here. You need to find the balance, and that's what they're lacking. With the balance, you'll have the identity. Players will get more comfortable with each other. You're going to have a more cohesive unit. Right now, it's just a bunch of dudes out there, man.
Well, I think that having De'Aaron Fox out there changes the dynamic because Fox is a veteran point guard who's still young, still in his prime, who is unselfish and is willing to take the last shot when Wemby doesn't want to. He's Mr. Clutch for a reason. I think that you're going to see Stephon Castle be a starter next season. He was a lot more comfortable as a starter, averaging 16 points per game as a starter compared to what he was doing as a bench player, 16, 17 points per game as a starter. He's a lot more available for that, right? So let's say that you have those two in the backcourt. What do we have with Dylan Harper? I mean, Dylan Harper is the number 2 consensus, wide consensus, number 2 player in the draft.
Yeah.
If he becomes the second coming of Castle, if he's better than Castle, they play very similar skill set. I mean, you can play them together, but at the same time, he has the pedigree. We talked about that before. His dad, Ron Harper.
Alonzo, I see you in the chat here. He says, it's not just a bunch of dudes anymore, really. What did these bunch of dudes do for you last season?
But it doesn't
update your takes.
Joe,
what take do you have for us then? Give us one of your good takes.
Joe, this Spurs roster only played 10 games together.
I mean, you didn't get a small sample size of Wemby and Fox due to injury,
Small sample size. They were both hurt. I mean, Fox was hurt during that time.
Yeah, he sure was with his finger.
And they didn't he didn't know any of these players.
No.
He didn't know his teammates. So I think this offseason is going to be very interesting for the Spurs. Can they grow together now that they've changed turned the page on Pop, and now they have Mitch Johnson and Mitch we trust. Now that we're going to have the summer camp, it's going to be an exciting offseason for the Spurs. Yeah, they got to kick the tires on Giannis, but Brian Windhorst believes that it's the best place for Giannis and the Bucks. But the question is the best place for the Spurs? And only time will tell when it comes to that. Let's give some love. I see the logo behind you, MCS General Contracting. Chris Lehi is in the chat right now. They have that diamond hard concrete. Dude, Chica even said Diamond Hard Concrete yesterday because I was, when I moved some stuff over here to Conroe,
Yeah.
she found a box that I had that had a bunch of Yetis and stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
One of them was the MCS one, and she picked it up and she goes, Diamond Hard, huh? I was like, yeah, that's right. She saw the stickers and everything. So let's give some love to MCS.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
Hit up MCS for their Yetis, man. They're nice. The red ones.
There you go.
Very cool, man. There's the number 774-9155, 210-774-9155 for your concrete placement needs. Residential, business, government, they do it all. Recently, they were over at Randolph Air Force Base doing a sidewalk and a patio for them. They did a fantastic job. Love the photos. Chris Leha, give them a call, 210-774-9155. Let's show me some love if we're giving out phone numbers. My number is 210-508-0369. I do financial services. I went back into financial advising and planning during COVID. I've been in the industry for 19 years. Went back during COVID. I now manage $21 million in assets. I'm very, very proud of that. Going to be $30 million more than likely by the end of the year. So it's very, very cool. You have questions about retirement planning. You have questions about life insurance, disability, auto, or homeowners insurance. Give me a call, 210-508-0369. July 26th, saying the concrete was throbbing when Chica talked about it.
Oh,
Does he is it diamond hard and throbbing concrete? We shall see. We shall see.
One thing that we got to talk about too is we got to talk about Knipple. We were seeing at the NBA draft combine, kind of doing this thing, man. Let me know what you think about the kid.
Knipple out of Duke.
Yeah, and this is courtesy of Jonathan Gavani over on the X.
So Knipple is one of those players that does a little bit of everything. Is he going to be a superstar? No. But Knipple is kind of like one of those teammates that you want to have. Like the ideal number 3 guy, the Derek White type of guy who can knock down threes, play defense, can make some passes. Just a very solid player. You know he's going to be in the NBA for a long, long time. Knipple, a lot of mock drafts have him going to the top 5 now. By the way, there are rumors out there that the Bucks are interviewing players that are outside of their range. Again, they don't have a pick, but why are they interviewing players? It's because maybe they're going to get picks in exchange for Giannis. But Knipple, really good player. About 6'6", 6'7"? Yeah, good player, dude. Pledger loves him.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely loves him. Joe, the year is 2028.
The year of our Lord.
You hear the music. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. The Olympics.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes getting the gold medal, putting the medal around his neck. Can you imagine gold medalist Micah Parsons, gold medalist Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs? Because NFL players might be taking part in the 2028 Olympics. Joe, explain.
Yeah, this is a post by Adam Schefter on the X earlier this morning. And he says that sources have told ESPN a vote to allow NFL players to participate in flag football for the first time during the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles is expected to pass at today's league meeting in Minneapolis. He says nothing is official yet, but as one source said about today's vote, Olympics should be easy.
It's kind of like the NBA back in 1992 with the Dream Team, right? Just Just send the players out there; they'll be perfectly fine. That's kind of interesting there, Bad.
But they're playing flag football, though. I guess to minimize the impact on the players.
Yes, and also the football that we play with the helmets and the pads and all that isn't played everywhere else. So we'd be playing against each other if that happens. It'd be us in Canada against each other when it comes to it all. But the fact of the matter is that there is a big push towards flag football. There are some high schools, Joe, that are going to have flag football as a sport for girls.
Okay.
Where you can say girls, you can play softball, you could play volleyball, you could play basketball, you could also play flag football. That's going to be a thing, Joe. Flag football is the future of football in high school sports, in middle school sports.
And look at this from Midtown, Texas. I'd rather watch my wife paint, because I'd rather watch paint dry, I guess, with with the wife.
Why is everybody all pissed off about flag football, dude? I mean, heck,
football.
You can't touch the receivers, you can't touch the quarterbacks. They're basically playing flag football already.
You know, I don't know how I feel about that, man. I mean, it's cool to see, I guess, NFL players participate in a flag football league for the Olympics, representing your country and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's flag football, dude. Like, what's the equivalent of that on a basketball level? Is that the 3-on-3 tourney that
Kind
they
of,
have?
sort of.
Yeah. You know,
it'd be like horse with NBA players.
it's like,
It'd be like a slam dunk competition with NBA players. Head of a fist saying, "Damn, those NFL players going to be running the Olympics camp." That's sad, dude.
What do they have? Those cardboard beds,
Those dorms with the 1-inch mattresses.
cardboard beds and whatnot. I'm like, God, man.
So Sam is saying that flag football is a different sport compared to full contact American football. I get it, but I think they'll understand it and they'll be able to adapt to it. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Not at all, Joe.
I think the reason that they want NFL players to participate is to go ahead and get the ratings up, because they know if they have professional athletes on there participating, people will be tuning in to watch this.
Joe, what's up with the tush push?
Yeah, man, we had some news yesterday. We didn't really get to it, but it looks like the NFL, let's say owners were going to be meeting yesterday, kind of voting on that per Adam Schefter. And I'll show this to you guys because this is a topic that kind of got pushed back yesterday, but we'll show this on screen now. And it's saying that Adam Schefter said yesterday, he goes, NFL owners are scheduled to meet on Tuesday and Wednesday in Minneapolis. He says to vote on the proposal to ban the tush push, the play that the Eagles have mastered. The proposal was tabled this spring at the league meeting in West Palm Beach, but is expected to come to a vote this week. So Tuesday, which is today, and tomorrow, the owners will meet, and they're going to go ahead and vote on the tush push. Whether you love the play or hate the play, it seems like it's garnered enough attention now to where I'm sure the owners are going to be like, let's go ahead and just ban this play completely. Let's see if they can get enough votes to get that done.
Yeah, it should be changed, dude. It's a stupid play. It's rugby. It's not football. It's a rugby play. Joe, I'm looking at stats for the WNBA right now.
Yeah.
Did you know that Caitlin Clark is not in the top 10 when it comes to points per game? Found that to be interesting.
Who is the one?
Asia Wilson, who was the MVP last season, is averaging 31 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Asia Wilson, 6'4" for the Las Vegas Aces. When people are like, Caitlin Clark's the best player in the WNBA, no, she's not. She's a very, very good top 10 player. Want to say she's top 5? We'll give her 5.
You know who else?
She's the most popular player in the WNBA, and that's where we're going to. At a WNBA game, Dallas Wings playing last night against Seattle. 7'4" Victor Wembanyama sitting courtside. Imagine sitting behind him, Joe.
You see nothing, dude.
But let's take a look at Wemby out there, man. Wemby on NBA TV. Enjoy the game out there. I enjoy watching the NBA players support the females out there. at the WNBA.
They have some video too of Wemby. I believe this is going to be courtesy of one Jeff Garcia, and we'll go ahead and see if we can bring that up here. Of Wemby kind of doing his thing afterwards. You know, he was seen, he was spotted like taking pictures with fans and whatnot. You know, putting on somebody's hat, having a good time over there at the WNBA game. But he ain't signed no autographs. He only does that when he goes to Costa Rica. Only in Costa Rica does he sign autographs for the kids. For the kids.
For the kids, baby. For the kids. No, that's fine. And you know what? To be honest with you, I would never ask for an autograph. I don't understand. The last autograph I got, Joe, was Carrie Underwood. That's the last autograph I got, and it was backstage at a concert.
When she was carrying Gabby Girl?
She was carrying Gabby Girl. That was 25 years ago, or 20 years ago, rather. I want photos with these players. So, like, if I get a selfie with a player or a handshake, I would much rather get that than an autograph because I don't see the value of an autograph unless you're going to sell it. And that's why they don't want to do autographs, man, because they're like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Like when he gave away that shirt to that kid, and the kid's dad was like, nope. You gotta put that on eBay or put that up for auction.
Comment. I like it. Joe's gonna get mad because Wemby is watching a WNBA game and not in the gym. Hey, no lies detected. You know what? You want to win? Cry harder. Go out there and play harder. You got to be in the gym working out, doing something. But yeah, it is what it is, dude. But Wemby's making the rounds, man, because they also had photos of Wemby, and Wemby was out there with another player, kind of doing the rounds. And this is going to be courtesy of Instagram because this is where I saw it. And it's courtesy of Agency ComSport. And it looks like Wemby's out here with another player. It's was it Renaud, Maxime or something like that? Maxime, another player that he's hanging out with, kind of working
Wemby
out
looks
with.
older in that photo.
Oh, this is him, dude. He's out there just hanging out, shooting the ball.
I'm gonna look up that guy's name. Maxime what?
Renaud.
Maxime Renaud. Okay. 22-year-old player, played for Stanford.
Yeah. He was seen playing chess with Wemby. Remember they took pictures together.
He is a French player, 22 years old, 7'1" as well. So he's a tall guy, played for Stanford. He's also French.
So there you go. Wemby's out there enjoying vacation, you know, doing the rounds, having fun.
Looking at his stats, he averaged 20 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, nearly 2 assists, shot 46.7 from the field. He shot 35% from three, 36 the year before that, 39 the year before that, or 42 the year before that. All right. Okay.
All right.
Big guy,
all right.
French guy. All right. Played 4 years. He's older than half the team.
You know what you got to do? You got to go ahead and also wish a very happy birthday to one of your favorite players, your son here.
Jeremy Sohan, turning 22. All right.
Happy birthday.
His age catching up to his 3-point shooting percentage. Amazing. Happy birthday to Jeremy Sohan.
I wonder how, he's 22 now. So, okay.
Yeah, or as Taylor Swift would say, 22. 22.
Where's the party at, Jeremy? Where's the party going to be at? I wonder if he's even in the States here. I bet you he's probably somewhere else, you know, out of the States.
Wasn't he in the Philippines recently?
Yeah, he was out there in the Philippines. I bet he's going to go party out there in the Philippines somewhere, having a good time.
Picking up some of the Filipino women out there.
I don't know about all that, but he's going to be having fun somewhere. It's his birthday.
He looks like a passport, bro.
You better have that. Was it the real ID? Because you ain't getting on no plane now unless you got that real ID.
Oh, by the way, you know what the real ID is? Your driver's license.
Exactly. It just has that little gold star.
Yeah, 98% of Texans already have that on their driver's license, so it's not that big of a deal. I heard that the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta go get something else." By the way, Caitlin Clark, if you want to watch her play today, her game is on NBA TV. I wonder if that's going to get better ratings than the Western Conference Finals, which gets going today, Game 1 between the Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Choose your fighter, Mike.
Dude, OKC's gonna romp them, dude.
Oh my!
They're gonna. It's not even gonna be close.
Sweet.
I know T-Wolves are a good defensive team. This is gonna be a gentleman's sweep, dude. They're gonna win it in 5 tonight. OKC favored by 7.5 points. The over under very low, Joe, 217, because the T-Wolves play good defense, right? But you know, the projected score is 112 to 105. T-Wolves play good defense, man. They do. That's their calling card. But the fact of the matter is that OKC is too strong when it comes to their bench. They have way too much depth.
I'm calling it right now, Mike. Upset tonight. Wolves over OKC in game 1.
I'm going to say that that Oklahoma City wins by 12 or more.
No, I'm picking the Wolves to upset them.
Hey,
the only game they win, but
hey, you wanna take some a money line tomorrow, plus 155. Indiana on the road against the Knicks. Can Indiana still get one? Dude, I don't want the Knicks to win for the very reason that their fans are pieces of crap, dude.
Oh,
you saw those videos on Twitter
of them harassing the Pacers fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some bull crap. You know what? That's why it's hard to cheer for certain NFL teams, Cowboy fans included. Why do we always have to see fights at Jerry World, dude? Why is that, man? Why is that?
I don't know.
Pendejos.
Look at that, Knicks in 6.
So I'm gonna call it. Let's put it out there. I'm gonna say Pacers in 6, Thunder in 5. And we're gonna have a Pacers.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
He says OKC is gonna blow out the Wolves. He goes, backs out. Nah, man. Wolves are gonna upset the OKC Thunder today. I picked the Pacers over the Knicks in 6.
Nice. So guess what I have to do today, Joe? I'm on the hunt to get some concert tickets, Joe. My girlfriend's daughter wants tickets to go see Billie Eilish.
Good luck. Those are going to cost quite a bit, dude.
Well, here's the thing, Joe. And this is a funny conversation piece here. My girlfriend's daughter lives in Miami, so we're going to go visit her again in about a month or so. And so she's going to be performing in Miami, so she wants to go and go to the show. But they're doing a thing where the tickets go on sale Thursday, but you can buy them today if you have an American Express card. I don't have an American Express card. I don't know many people who do, but I know the one person who does is the guy that owns my firm.
No.
So now so I guess you can call my boss. I'm self-employed, but I guess you can call him because I'm the VP of that company. He's the CEO. So I call my boss. That's fine. I'm calling my boss at 11:30. I'm like, dude, let's get on Ticketmaster together. Buy me these 4 tickets, and I'll pay you back. But it got me thinking, Joe, because Chica was asking me the question about Amex. Yeah, Amex is like an elitist card, right? Like if you have an American Express, you're an elitist. Is that what that is?
Not really.
Like you broke if you got Discover.
No, bro. Discover's not like a bottom tier card. I mean,
dude, what is the bottom tier card? It's Discover, man.
So what is Capital One? Okay, you have Capital One, right?
Well,
then you have like Chase.
Well, Capital One was a joke about 10, 15 years ago, but it's super legit now. Capital One, actually, I was looking at the cards that were there, Joe. Like the 5 most exclusive cards. I'm going to look that up real fast. The 5 most exclusive credit cards. And tell me if you would do it.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you have in your wallet, Joe?
Let's see what I have. Right now I have Capital One. I got Home Depot.
Okay. So
all right. Valero.
But do you have any that have points?
Yeah, I mean, I have my Capital One Platinum card, Capital One Quicksilver card. I got my Chase Prime, Amazon Prime credit card here. So
I have the Southwest Airlines card, which is a MasterCard, right? Yeah. So it's a Chase MasterCard, but it's Southwest Airlines. I get miles for every dollar I spend. I also have the Sandals card, which gives me cash back. I didn't realize I had $700 in cash back that's still there. But I found this to be funny, Joe. Did you know that the most prestigious card in America is a Centurion Black card from American Express, and that it has an APR of 20%, so it's high interest, right? And it has an annual fee of $5,000. Can you imagine having an annual fee, Joe, of $5,000? Just boom.
Jeez.
And you have to spend $350,000 a year on that card to keep it.
God. And look at that. Sam Salinas, put them in front of the camera, Joe. Heck no. You know what's funny nowadays is that the numbers for the cards aren't even on the front of the cards.
Yeah, they're in the back.
They're on the back, man. So you can show the front of the card. Not going to do you any good. All you're going to do is see the chip on there,
right?
And my name, but the numbers are on the back. And the way that I have my wallet situated, it has like that. What do you call that? That for NFC, it has that blocking capability on it. I'll show you my wallet. There's my wallet. So I like this wallet. I picked it up over there at the Big Texas Comic-Con.
That's awesome, dude. I have a wallet that I found in the closet yesterday that I bought like 6 months ago and I haven't used it. I need to move my stuff over to it.
You know what I ran out of, Mike? On the back of my wallet, you see how it has the money clip?
Yeah.
And I usually keep money back here, dude. I had I think I put like $250 at one time I had back here. It's gone now. I was just telling that the other day to one of my kids, my oldest son, because he's like, what happened to all your money on the back of your card? I said, I slowly used it. I got to go ahead and put more money on the back of the money clip, because that's the thing. As you get older, you just want to have cash there just in case, because sometimes the internet goes down. And I go to other places too. Look, man,
you carry cash in the year of the Lord 2025.
I carry cash too, because check this out. Like sometimes I'll be at places downtown, right? And you're going to go ahead and get the valet parking, right? So to speak. So you got to tip these guys.
Oh, there's a way around that, Joe.
I just have my money there. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just give the guy $20 or what have you, It's like, here you go,
First of all, $20 for $20 for valet, you out of your mind. That's a $5 tip all day, every day. So this is how you handle it, Joe. I don't carry cash because I went to the Jelly Roll concert with Post Malone.
Yeah.
Right? You go to the Alamo Dome, city of San Antonio, right?
They don't accept cash.
They don't accept cash. They don't.
Know who else? You know who else doesn't accept cash?
Even the parking doesn't accept cash.
Yeah.
So Martian Murray said it. Only some taco trucks only take cash. And that was the only reason why I would take cash downtown is a taco truck. That's it. Because everybody else, if I'm getting a valet or whatever the case may be and I don't have cash, simple question, dude. Do you got Cash App? And all of them say yes. Dude, Joe, I go to bars now or lounges where they have the band. Me and Chica will go and we'll listen to music. We went to one in Spring Branch a few weeks ago. Listen to a nice musician play music while we're having wine or whatever the case may be, right? It was a nice place. Want to tip them, right? This also happened in Nashville when I went to Nashville for a work convention. You want to tip the singer because they're doing a really good job. No one goes up and gives them $1. No one goes up and gives them a $5 or a $20. What's everybody doing? QR code. Here's $5. Cash App.
Though you go to places like the Petite Strawberry Festival where I went, right? And none of the Cash App QR codes were working because you couldn't get service down there.
Because you're in Potee, Joe.
Everybody was resorting to giving cash. So I'm just saying, ever since then, I was like, I just had cash on my money clip and I just got used to it. So I don't know. I carry like $250 with me on the money clip.
Joe, I carry cash in one spot only, one place only, and that's at a casino. That is
I have money on me. I need to put some more money on the back of my money clip. It just makes me feel more secure, I guess, getting old and shit. I just got to have that hard cash there with me, dude.
Yeah, Sam Selena saying Apple Pay using my watch, best thing ever.
I have that too on my phone, So I do that, but I use the Google Pay,
Jonathan C comes out and says even the zoo went cashless.
Yeah, the zoo went cashless, dude. So I mean, I have my cards, but I just like carrying some cash around with me, dude.
It's a flex. It's a flex because
I keep it with me because even around the corner from where I live, right? Sometimes they have these little kids that are trying to raise money, right? And they're selling like waters or what have you. And I see kids trying to raise money for their teams or whatever, soccer team or whatever they're doing.
They take
I'll
Cash
put
App
'em.
too, dude.
I like just giving them the
Dude,
cash, dude.
I-
$5, here you go, man.
I use Cash App for Girl Scout cookies, man.
Raul, damn, Joe is loaded. No, man. I mean, we do all right. Me and Mike are doing all right. I ain't showing nobody my 1099s or W2s.
Yeah, I haven't shown them either. They just exist.
Yeah.
That is not a tall tale. Quick question, Joe. Should we give a shout out? Should we give some praise and a round of applause to Bill Miller Barbecue?
Bro.
They're opening up their newest location with a double drive-through, 211 and Petrenko Road. MySA said that MySA.com says that there's 76 locations. There's 76 Bill Millers, almost all of them in San Antonio. I know they've got some in Seguin. I know they've got some in Corpus, and they've got some in Austin. But they're primarily in San Antonio. 76 Bill Miller locations. Now open.
211, dude. It says new look, double drive-through. We're open and ready to serve you at Petrenko and 211. It says now open. You got to make it out there, man. And see what that looks like, because I'm just used to the one drive-through over here on the access road of Highway 151 in Westover Hills.
Yeah,
that's where they have that one in Laguna Madre, where Mike. It took Mike to a fish place, and this brother orders a burger.
Okay, first of all, I'll eat sushi, right? But you give me fried fish, gross, dude. Gross.
I mean, they got other things there too, but
well, even tilapia and all that stuff, gross. Yeah, Rafa saying that there's a Bill Miller's in Cashville. That's right. That's right. That's off of that's off the main road off of Highway 90. Right,
look at Tony
Ornella
Ornella says Joe wants to buy lemonade from the neighborhood. No lies, dude. There's this little girl that sells lemonade in the summertime right around the corner from where I live, dude. She's super cute. She's a little girl. She was probably like 6 or 7 at the time. Last year, man, I had to go and buy some lemonade from her. And she sells it again, dude. Every year she does. I'll probably stop by and buy some more lemonade.
Can we all say this in unison here that the ice cream man really needs to F off? Because the ice cream man has become and the ice cream man's gotten expensive, dude. They come by and I'm like $6, $3 for this. $5. Like I want to get for like 2 people, 3 people. It's like $14 for ice cream. Ice cream, no. Get the hell out of here.
Look at they said Raul says KSAT was there this morning
Jesus.
For that Bill Miller's grand opening. Mike ordered a burger and paid with a check. Who pays with checks anymore, dude?
Dude, I was asked that the other day. What was I asked? I was trying to change I was trying to change like my direct deposit for one of the companies that I represent.
Yeah.
And they said, we need a voided check. I'm like, who the hell has a voided check? What year is this? Who does voided checks? It's kind of like going to the mail, Joe. Chico asked me, did you check the mail? I'm like, no, it's not that time of the month. I go and check the mail once a month. That's it.
Bro, your mailbox must be like just overflowing, man.
There's nothing I've ever gotten in the mailbox that is useful. Have I missed out on weddings and parties? Yes. Okay. I don't care. You know what? Evite me. Send me a text.
You know what? Look at Jonathan C, man. He's saying the ice cream man outside the zoo charged $4 for a raspa.
Raspa.
The hell? You know what I miss? I miss the paleta man. There used to be one over there by where my suegra used to live off of 90, Old Highway 90.
Yeah.
And every single summer, man, there was this old man on the bike, pedaling around the neighborhood, dude, with the paletas. Mm-hmm. And those paletas were good, dude.
Oh, paletas are amazing. I love getting the paletas from Culebra Meat Market. And I was telling Chica the other day, she doesn't believe me when it comes to the story, but how mean people were at grocery stores during COVID. And I remember, all these people lining up for food or lining up for toilet paper, whatnot, over at H-E-B and Walmart, right? But I would go to Culebra Meat Market because it was like a little known secret that Culebra Meat Market is a grocery store. You see a meat market, you think, oh, they just sell meat there. No, it's groceries. They got groceries there. And I remember there was this long line there during COVID, and this lady up in the front goes, I didn't see all you white people here before COVID. You got all mad. She's like, leave this for us Mexicans. God, I
Hey
love
man,
Culebra Meat.
Culebra Meat Market over here on Marbach, dude. They're coming clutch, man. In the mornings on Sunday, you can go in there and they got like a little restaurant, right?
Okay.
And they serve some good food there, man. And the
Mhm.
tortillas are bomb, bro.
The tortillas are amazing at Culebra Meat Market. They're top tier. No one can touch them. No one can touch the avocados there either. But here's the thing, Joe. The one that I go to in San Antonio is the one on Piper's Lane and Culebra Road.
Okay,
right?
I know where that's at. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same type of taqueria that they have at the other one that you have on Marbach. It's maybe the same. Dude, those are the best tacos in all of San Antonio for like breakfast. Just like the bacon and egg, the picadillo, just all of that. Just amazing. Oh, can't wait, Joe. Can't wait, Joe. I got to go back to San Antonio.
Yeah, you got to come back. You know what?
The reason why I didn't go back this week was because I told Chica all the traveling that we've been doing, I just wanted to sit in one location for a week and not do anything. And just kind of. But Chica and I are going to go to Laughlin, Nevada with my parents.
This weekend?
No, we're going to go in June, in 2 weeks. So June 6th, I believe, is when it is. So that's the next trip that we're going to go do. It's a sleepy town. It's a casino town out there. We're going to go do that. It's going to be fun. Hey, we forgot to give some love to Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs. Let's talk some Spurs on the other side.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give Jeff some love here. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, more than 7,500 subscribers on there. He had Sweep the League on there. He had Rudy Campos Jr. on yesterday. So he had a post a couple of hours ago that the question is a guard controversy. Dylan Harper's potential impact on the San Antonio Spurs. Also has a story about Stephon Castle working out in the offseason. More stories about who the Spurs are working out there at the facility over at the Rocket La Cantera. Follow Jeff Garcia at Jeff G Spurs on Twitter and Threads.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, for sponsoring the show here or helping us out here.
Joe, are you kicking me out on Friday?
No, I'm not kicking you out this Friday. This Friday you could be on. I was just had too many cooks in the kitchen last time. I had me. It was gonna be Spernandez and LG.
I don't know why. Is there something between LG? Does he not like me? Because I've never met the guy.
No, he does. I mean,
I think I've met him in person one time back in the day, right?
Oh, man, me and LG have hung out. We broken bread. We had some drinks.
You're keeping me away from him for some
reason.
No,
I'm not keeping you away from LG. You can talk to him anytime you want, bro.
It's like that phrase, LG and Jimenez have never been in the room at the same time. It looks funny, dude. It's funny.
No, man. It's just that we have me and LG talk a lot of shop too. Like we're both producers, so we'll kind of talk here and there. I'll text him here and there. I'll tell him all of a sudden, hey man, can you come out on, the show on Friday? He's like, let's do it.
Joe, my fast ends in 19 minutes, Joe. 19. I'm back on it, Joe. Man, all the traveling that Chica and I have been doing sort of fluff out again, man. I lost 25 pounds and I gained 10 of it back with all the trips back, man. I'm still down 15, but I need to get back on it. So this is day number 3 of fasting, Joe.
You can't do that and any working out or walking with that torn meniscus like you.
Well, I did a 2-mile walk yesterday, and I did some weightlifting yesterday. So I did do that. We lifted while watching TV yesterday. So we had the dumbbells out and the bars and all that stuff, and we're doing floor exercises and stuff like that. But man, what worked for me when I was losing all that weight, Joe, was fasting from basically 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. And so now I'm doing it because of the podcast. Basically, stop eating at 8,
Yeah.
Don't eat again until noon. So I'm back on it, Joe.
It says try the Dana White water for 72 hours. It was tough the first 10 hours. Then it was easy.
What is that?
I don't know. Maybe he just drinks a lot of water.
Crap ton of water. Yeah, I mean, I've got the. I'm drinking the Body Armor these days, the zero sugar water, like the Pedialyte type stuff.
Yeah. Floor exercises, he says. Get it, boy, Sam Salinas.
No lies detected.
I got a rowing machine, dude. You should use that. Maybe get you a rowing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Do a couple miles.
I love to swim. If you want to know like what I like to do to exercise, I like going to the pool and just doing laps. When I told Chica, if we lived out there in Jamaica for 6 weeks, dude, I'd be trim because I just love to swim and I love swimming long distances.
Yeah, you're gonna be swimming away from them damn sharks in Jamaica, bro.
There ain't no sharks in Jamaica,
Oh,
dude.
man.
It's Florida. I looked it up because Chica was all about shark this and shark that. I told her I looked it up. There's only been 3 shark attacks in Jamaica in 300 years.
Bro, it doesn't mean that they're
Florida.
not there.
No, you know what? If you see a dolphin, there are no sharks, and there are a lot of dolphins up and down that coast there.
That's a bunch of lies, bro. Because I've been to freaking Rockport before, and I've been out there, and you can see the cuts. You know, you're gonna have those little dips, and then they come back up. There's dolphins in there because there's a little channel there, and there's hammerhead sharks there too, man. Like, come on,
Yeah, but I mean, they're not great whites, you know.
bro. The hammerhead sharks get pretty damn big, man. You get bumped. You get bumped. Let's just say you don't want to move.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, fellas, I got to take off. Got to go buy some Billie Eilish tickets with my boss real fast. Joe, it was a pleasure. We'll be back again tonight. You got what? Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. I got OKC by 12 or more. You have T-Wolves winning this game.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin Clark, if you want to watch the Indiana Fever, gets going 7 p.m. NBA TV.
Yeah, there's a reason the sharks don't attack in Jamaica because they're already high, dude. They get high off of all the reefer in the water, dude.
All right, fellas. Let's call it a day. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right. Peace out. We'll see y'all tomorrow.